There's three things that happened before the election campaign.
Australia, we can do better. All it takes is a better government with better plans.
The Albanese opposition then said, you have nothing to fear from electing a Labor government to this country's leadership.
One of the things that we're doing in this campaign is we're making all of our policies clear. We're putting them out there for all to see.
We're not going to change the tax.
We haven't changed our position on the stage 3 tax cut. We've changed our position for the right reasons.
Secondly, we won't touch your superannuation.
We said we would not have any major changes in superannuation.
High earners will pay more tax on superannuation under changes announced by the Albanese government.
Thirdly, they said, in regard to COVID, we will have a royal commission into our COVID response.
Are you going to call a royal commission into this so Australians know exactly what was going on?
I've said consistently that once we were through the pandemic, it would be inconceivable, regardless of who won the election in May, that you would not have a proper examination.
But the inquiry he's just announced into COVID that won't hold public meetings, that can't compel witnesses to appear, that can't subpoena documents, and that most notably won't investigate any actions by state governments, well, it's a whitewash.
Do you accept that this was a lie?
Why didn't you level with voters at the election?
Can you name any of your election promises you are not now prepared to break?
When politicians present themselves to the Australian people and say, here is our plan, if you elect us, this is what we will do. We, the Australian people, expect you will do what you will say you will do.
A Labor government will restore trust and accountability to national politics.
I'm not saying they're broken promises, they're broken trust agreements with the Australian people. They're broken trust. And when trust in politicians in this nation and around the world is at an all-time low, go and talk to the people in the street about what they think about politicians.
I mean, I don't follow politics that too much. I think they're all the same at the end of the day.
I think the question here is why governments keep breaking their promises.
I've been in and out of this place since 1990, and I have a memory of governments, of Labor governments, that took away from single mums their parental payment to care for their children and cut it from 12 years of age to 7 years of age.
So our aim here is to get more single parents off income support and into work.
Then the Albanese government comes in and raises it
From 8 years to 14 years.
and says, pat us on the back. Look what we've done for single mothers.
We want to make sure that the children of single parent families have the best opportunities in life.
I was here when you took it away. It's crazy stuff. And I can't imagine, Deputy Speaker, the regulation that is put on this generation that previous generations never had to deal with.
Live sheep exports will be banned in Australia.
There's a lot of anger out here in the bush about what's happening.
There's enough now of the next generation of farmers that don't want to continue on the farm because they know what their mum and dad have been through to get them to that point. Committing to closing the live sheep export businesses sends a message that it's live sheep now, it's live cattle next. We're coming after you.
Too many of our kids aren't going to be able to buy a house. We can do better than that.
An Australian Labor government will help you achieve the great Australian dream of home ownership.
Since the early 80s, we've been paying capital gains tax. You know, we're paying now land tax we didn't pay before.
More than 800,000 investment, holiday home and business property owners will be impacted by extra property taxes.
Now, I know that's not a federal tax, but it's affecting everything the federal government does because we have a rental crisis in Australia.
More than 1,000 homes have been removed from Melbourne's rental market as rising costs force landlords to sell up. Now that's leaving renters with nowhere to go as the vacancy rate reaches an all-time low.
Why have we got a rental crisis? Because of government policy. Let the people of Australia make their own decisions on their own behalf. Look, it is sad where this nation's headed by people who are making regulations around our farmers, around our community, around superannuation that is not backed by common sense. It's not until you have dirt under your fingernails, Deputy Speaker, that you would understand many of the issues that I'm talking about tonight. And thanks for the opportunity to address this Parliament and the people of Australia.